Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirits. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you once again for tuning in. We have an action-packed show this week for you, as ever, and we're going to be discussing the topic From Zero to Hero. Also in today's show, we have the channeling from Spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel in order for Spirit to bring their communications through. And also in this week's episode, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the course of this week. So then, this week's topic, From Zero to Hero. What do I mean by this? I'm talking about your life being a journey and never to underestimate who you truly are. Because wherever we're at in our lives, doesn't matter how old we are, we all have a story, we all have a journey to follow, and it's all has lots of twists and turns in it. So never underestimate who you truly are, because you're not fully aware of where you're going on your pathway. So always show that level of respect for yourself. Now, we are all equal in our journey, in our development, because as I like to say, all of us here are all teachers and we are all students. All in that same moment, whether we realize it or not, we're actually absorbing the information around us. This information is then helping us to gather our thoughts and get inspiration, and also to pass on that wisdom, being the teacher as well, to others. Other people will emulate that, and other people will then also become that teacher themselves, inspiring others. It's very much like passing on the baton of knowledge and inspiration to everybody. So everybody benefits. So recognizing that none of us are greater than anybody else. We're all equal because we're all teachers and students in that same moment. Now, our choices shape our reality. So in order for us to make, shall we say, positive, affirming choices, we first of all need to get to grips to know who we truly are as an individual. Now let's take it from the beginning. So let's take it from what people you like to be around. What qualities do you look for in a friend or in a relationship? What music inspires you? What films inspire you? What books inspire you? What environments do you like to be in? Do you like to be outdoors in nature? Do you like to be indoors? Do you like to visit towns? Do you like to visit cities? Do you like to visit other countries? The choices are endless. Now, once you become aware of what aligns with you and you get to know the truth of who you are and what you enjoy, then this will help you, obviously, in your choice-making decisions there. Because if things aren't in alignment with your likes, then you're obviously going to make a different choice, aren't you? You're not going to give that your time and attention. So being clear about who you are as an individual and what you like and what you don't like is paramount, I would say, to this process. Because there's some of us, and I'm sure we've all been in this category at some point in our life, where we were, say, inspired by others, and because we saw how much they was enjoying maybe something within their life, we try to emulate that to try and get that emotional feeling, that feedback that they were receiving from enjoying something. And with this being the case, yes, it will serve you short term, but actually, is it the truth of who you are in your soul alignment? When you find out that it isn't, then it doesn't bring you that joy, that sparkle in your life as it did to other people. So being true to yourself and standing your ground with your choices, even if you're in the minority of one, is paramount for your soul's evolution and progression on your life purpose there. And this will, like I say, will help you shape your reality as you make choices that are in alignment with the truth of who you are, once you know who you are. Now, this may sound very obvious to most of you, but we've all been there at some point in our lives where we've had to reevaluate who we are because we no longer recognize who we are as an individual. Maybe this is because society's influence, and like I've just been describing to you, we've followed suit what brings other people joy, but doesn't necessarily bring us that same level of joy. So by being true to ourselves will allow us to stay on our pathway there moving forward. Also, I want to say on our pathway, our story, our journey is probably one of the greatest teachers that we'll ever have in our lifetime. And that is simply because the many twists and turns and the effects of the choices that we've made, maybe some good, maybe some bad, will actually give us that feedback. Why don't we like that situation? Well, we don't like it because this happened or that happened. Okay, so that has taught me a lesson. Most people will take that lesson on board and evolve within their life and maybe make different decisions based upon their experience there. That's usually the case. Or there are people, and I'm not judging because I've been in this category myself at some point, that don't learn from those lessons and continually repeat that cycle until eventually the penny drops, and then they can make an informed decision based upon their experience. And again, I'm not judging with saying this because we've all been there, myself included, and some of us learn at different rates and we don't always see the bigger picture. Maybe we had to go through something several times over because the other parties, the other people involved had to learn a lesson as well, and we were their teacher. Although they were being our teacher at the same time as we were being their student, just as they were being our student. You see, it can get quite complex when we think about it, when we take a back step, but this is what I'm saying. We're all equal in this. You know, we all benefit from understanding that as well. Now, seeing the blessings in any situation. Now, this can be difficult at times, particularly if you've gone through a rough part of your life and you have that attachment to either individuals or situations that trigger an emotional response from you. And this is your homework, basically, to move beyond that triggered response, that emotional response, to understand why you're feeling like that, to understand why you're displaying those emotions and why are you doing that. And once you figure that out and go through that yourself, doing the inner work, then you can start to see the blessings in any situation that you've gone through within your life. And when you see these blessings, actually, this is when you understand why life's turned out the way it has for you and why is it flowing in a certain direction to you. Because it's given you some beautiful lessons to learn. And once you see those blessings in those lessons, those situations, this gives you the ultimate opportunity to transform your past, your present, and your future as you come to that realization. Because it's all about perception, isn't it? When your perception is changed upon all of that and you start and see these blessings in all of the situations, your past begins to change. You see it as, oh, that's why that's happened. Oh, that's why I went through that. It was part of my evolution. It gave me that understanding of people, of places, of whatever the situation is. So perception is paramount, really, because without having that, without taking that back step and seeing everything, then we're just going to stay stuck. We're just going to be there with the blinkers on, with the head down, carrying on, not learning, not expanding, not growing. We're just going to be trapped almost as if we're treading water. So perception is a beautiful gift, I would say, because we can, as I say, we can quite literally, when we come to that realization, we can change the way that we perceive our past. We can be more present in our life, see the way that we're living in the now moment, and that in turn will alter the course of our future. So it's very important that we do that. And also, I would say, contrast within our life. So something that we enjoy, maybe something that we don't enjoy. All of these things adds tapestry, adds contrast to our life. And contrast, I would say, is an invitation to change. So when something's not quite what we enjoy, rather than saying, oh, I don't like that, and putting a full stop after that statement, maybe us taking that back step and assessing, well, why don't I like that? I don't like it for this, that, and the other. Okay, so, right, what do I want? And then it gets you to that sort of next run of the ladder where you can actually come to that realization, well, I don't like that, but I would like this to happen instead. And so contrast is an invitation to change. Accept the greatness within that situation. In other words, see the positive vibrational information, energy in that situation when you do go through these twists and turns within your life, because these are pivotal points in your life where you can turn your life around, where you can make these changes and get to where you want to get in your life. So never see these so-called stumbling blocks as a negative part of your life. See them as a, shall we say, a diving board to dive deeper into the truth of who you are. Now, life as well, it is not a race. Life is evolution. Life is an evolution. It is in alignment with your soul path. So, in other words, don't be too quick to rush, because like the old story, the hare and the tortoise, I'm sure you've all heard that at some point in your life, where the hare was showing off, was rushing around, look at me, I can do this, I'll beat you. And the tortoise, obviously, it had a shell on its back, it just plodded along, and it wasn't fazed by this, it kept on going on its pathway. And down to the ego and the, shall I say, the cockiness of the hare, it raced ahead and decided it was going to have a little break, didn't it? And because it was ahead of the tortoise, and in doing so, it overslept, and the tortoise eventually won that race, so to speak. But the lesson in that story, I feel, is by taking your time, it allows you to take in all of that information that's around you. You can see the bigger picture in all of your present moments. So it's giving you that greater perspective, isn't it? It's giving you that knowledge base. It's giving you that understanding of what's happening in your life, rather than racing ahead and missing all this beauty, all these little lessons along the way, all of these little blessings. And then you will reach your destination on your journey, on your soul path, once you do that. Obviously, there are those, and I'm not judging people that do like to rush ahead and do all of that. And you'll see that a lot of these characters, so to speak, they do miss some of the details. They do miss that an emotional connection with people, with also places, with also their experience. They miss those lessons in that situation. So again, this is just observations I'm sharing with you today. So yeah, life's not a race. Enjoy each and every moment. As you do that, you will notice that your life will feel more enriched and in alignment with your soul path. Now, being present as well is a wonderful gift. Now, I'm talking about presence, like being here now. And it sounds very obvious when you put it that way, doesn't it? Because there's a lot of us that, although we're in our life, in our now moment, mentally, emotionally, we're not there. We're maybe stuck in a part of our past that we haven't been able to get over emotionally, mentally. And so it's stopping us from living in our present moment, being in that moment mentally, emotionally, physically. And this is where the strength and power of who we truly are is magnified. So in order to be present, I always offer the example to my students of just tapping in with yourself. So in other words, be aware of what you're seeing with your physical eyes. What are you hearing with your ears? What are you sensing with your emotions? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you touching there? All of the senses. And when you put your focus on all of those things, what it will do, it will take you out of that mindset. It will take you out of your emotions, and it will pull you back into your present moment consciousness, where again, this is where the power, the strength of who you truly are resides. Also, being grounded gives you the gift of clarity as well. Now, grounding is a wonderful process where you can do this wherever you are in the world. You don't necessarily have to go out into nature. However, that would be a bonus if you can, because you'll find that the process is amplified as you do this. But what I would generally recommend, if you're not able to go out into nature or anything like that, just stamp your feet. Stamp your feet wherever you're at. Stamp your feet. And I don't mean do this out of temper, out of frustration. Just stamp your feet. Again, be aware of your senses in your physical body, and this will bring you straight back in alignment with your present moment. And just be aware of your surroundings whilst you're doing this. So it doesn't matter if you're at home, in the office, or where you're at. When you do this process, be aware of the colours in the room, the textures on the walls there, the sounds playing outside, any bird song, the temperature within the room, and all of your bodily senses there. Just be aware of them, and this will bring you in alignment with the truth of who you are in your present moment. And from that moment, you can make necessary choices within your life. If you're not present, if you're not grounded, you're diluting that process, that choice-making process. And so most people will just agree because it's easier to agree rather than making a conscious decision. So this will allow you to take that responsibility back into your own hands and then start and make these positive, affirming life choices. Another thing I'd like to share with you with this process, I know we've called this talk From Zero to Hero, but going back to what we were saying, we are all equal. We're all on different parts of our story. We're all teachers, yet we're all students in that same moment there. And so by staying humble, by appreciating yourself and other people, we're not familiar about the story that they've walked through in their life. We're not familiar with where they're at on their life's path or what they're going through mentally and emotionally, and neither are they with you. But this is part of their story in order to give that information to the universe, which will in turn expand the consciousness of the universe, which will in turn expand our consciousness and development as well, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So by staying humble, we understand that we're all in this journey together. We're all teachers, we're all students. So be kind. Be kind, because we don't know what other people are going through. And when we understand that they're massive contributors to the universal energy, then we understand that we are all equal. We all benefit. So I'd like to give you a few examples of where I've gone through scenarios or situations like this that have led to my evolution in my own life. Well, first of all, let's start at the very beginning. When I was a youngster, I'm going back to when I started school. I was very, very shy, very quiet. I was a sort of young lad that would sit in the corner and watch and observe. And then if I was asked to contribute in a class discussion or maybe share my thoughts on a situation, I would clam up. I would freeze up and I wouldn't know what to say for fear of what other people would think of me for saying it. I think that is the crux of why I was shy. I was concerned about what other people thought of me. And so this shy child that I was, it carried on and it moved on in this way. And then it wasn't until I was in secondary school that I started to come out of my shell a little bit, so to speak. I started to understand, as most teenagers do, they start to find their feet of who they are, what they like, what they don't like. And so for me, my savior with all of this to get me out of this shyness was actually the gift of music. Now, although I'd had this gift of music since I was small, I couldn't associate with it up until the point of being a teenager. And then I really found that this altered the way that I dressed. It gave me that confidence. I've always been a big fan of rock and heavy metal music and alternative music. So at that time, this is where I grew my hair. I wore that sort of clothing, the alternative rock, heavy metal clothing, and it gave me that confidence. And in many respects, it allowed me to sort of hide away that sensitive side of myself. And so people wouldn't sort of pester me, although that shyness was still there. But the exterior, the way that I was presenting myself to the world, allowed people to sort of like leave me be, if you know what I mean. And I feel that that's because the way I looked and my appearance at that time, which it wasn't a problem at all because I was quite comfortable in that. However, it did give me that confidence to mix with more people, to state my opinion a little bit more, although there was still that level of shyness there in doing so. But the music certainly brought out my confidence. It allowed me to kind of go undetected, if you like, because of my appearance. It would either repel people, and so it would stop people from approaching me, which then wouldn't put me on a platform where I have to give my opinion and speak and all of that. So in many respects, it did serve me in that respect. But obviously you evolve, you grow, and eventually you do find your voice, which I did. And this all came about when I accepted who I am and who I was at that time, and the evolution of finding out that I could hear and communicate with spiritual energy started that process. And you may have heard me say on here many times before that when I did discover that, I was 18. It was a very frightening time, I would say, because, seeing things with the physical eyes, hearing things, being told things, listening and hearing different conversations that were happening that weren't actually happening in that real time moment, if you know what I'm saying. And so I was bombarded with spiritual energy and information 24/7 until I eventually got the help that I needed to make sense of what was happening. I wasn't going crazy. I wasn't going mad. It was the fact that I was ready. It was now time to understand about the spiritualism and the spiritual gifts, the chakra system. And so I got invited to attend with two spiritual mediums that told me about it. They told me about the chakra system. They advised me how to open and close down the chakra system. And by doing this, it gave me that sort of element of peace so that I could go throughout my daily duties without feeling bombarded, have more sort of control on the experience, if you like. But also, over time, I developed these spiritual gifts. I attended regularly at a spiritual center where I practiced. I developed the spiritual gifts and had that level of understanding and also appreciation for the effort that spirit do make in order for us to communicate with them and then to communicate with us. So I learned all of that, and I went through that process, and in doing that I met some like-minded individuals there. So you can imagine what a blessing in disguise that is. You're not alone anymore, are you, in your experience? You're meeting other people that are going through a similar thing. They have that level of understanding of the sounds that you've heard, being bombarded by conversations 24/7. They know all of that, and you're no longer considered strange or weird or a freak or anything like that. So there's a level of acceptance, which in turn, for me personally, gave me that confidence where I could start and expand, shine and grow and accept myself for who I am. And so by doing that, and then listening to the information that Spirit were bringing forward and trusting it, that's part of it, isn't it? Building that trust bond relationship up with our spirit communicators. That can be a very, shall we say, educational part of your evolution when you're a sensitive or you're a medium. And it doesn't just happen overnight. For me, it took many, many years to build up that trust bond relationship with my spiritual team. But in doing so, they would give me insight, information. They would never tell me what to do, but they would give me that inspired thought that maybe you could try this if you wanted to. And obviously, it's all down to free will. So in any one moment, I had that opportunity to either say yes or no, or pursue whatever information they were giving me a little bit further. And what Spirit will do, and they did with me, is they push you forward gently, incrementally, so it doesn't overstretch that trust bond that you have with them, so to speak. But it does take you on the next level of your evolution. So upon doing that, trusting and then taking necessary action, because without putting action in, obviously you're going to be in the same place over and over and again. So having that level of trust, putting action in, doing the things that I was inspired to do, helped me move beyond my own personal limitations. And in doing so, that expanded my confidence. It allowed me to communicate more clearly, openly and freely. It gave me that healing to that inner child, and that child that I'm speaking about when I was younger and I was very quiet and shy. So it gave me that opportunity to heal that version of myself. Having the understanding that I was that individual for a reason, it gave me contrast. It gave me the ability to learn from it, to have those lessons, and also to grow in a safe environment where I felt comfortable to open up and expand as well. Now, obviously, with healing from that, it gave me inspiring information, which is what I'm doing now in many respects. I'm sharing my story with you, and hopefully it's giving you that inspiration to maybe look at your life, your involvement, how you started off in life and how you are now, and look at all of those little, shall we say, choices along the way that has shaped your present moment reality to where you're listening to this episode right here, right now. And of course, when doing that, when you recognize these lessons in all of these situations within your life, you then start to realize that, do you know what? I am a teacher as well as a student. I've learned all of these, but actually, look at the people around me. Look at the social circle I have. Look at the family. How are they behaving around me? How are they inspired by my story and how I've done this? And it's not an ego exercise, not at all. It's about understanding that we are all teachers, we are all students, we are all equal. We're just all on different vibrational frequencies within our own timelines. But we all of these experiences, all of these emotions and energy build up into the greater collective, into the universe. So we're all learning, we're all growing, we're all expanding for the greater good of consciousness. So again, going back to my story, that's what I experienced, and that's what I found with accepting all of those lessons and understanding the blessings in those situations helped me learn and grow to do what I'm doing to this very day, communicating with you openly and freely in this now moment. Well, now we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from Spirit, which does see me becoming a vessel for Spirit to bring their communication and wisdom through. Now, this is, as you've probably heard me say on here many times before, this is part of the show that I really do enjoy, because in the time that I'm communicating or allowing Spirit to communicate through me, I have no knowledge of what is being said. So it's always good for me to review at the end upon doing this. So I'm looking forward to listening to this week's channeling. As you know, it takes a great deal of responsibility and in order to bring these communications through. It's not just something that you do once a week. It's a lifestyle choice when you become a vessel for Spirit to work through you. So you'll notice that what you once liked has to be removed, and you find your vibration heightens. Things that you once used to like changes as well as you prepare to be this vessel for Spirit to communicate through. So it takes a lot of, obviously, a lot of patience and a lot of practice doing this. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this channeling from Spirit, and hopefully you can connect with the information shared.
We'd like to talk to you today about self-respect and looking after oneself, taking responsibility for everything that you do. So with this being the question and this being the topic in mind today, we want to start by telling you who you are. And when you know who you are, then you can make, shall we say, positive, affirming life choices. Who you are is divine consciousness. Who you are is everything in every moment. You are all connected. You are all energy. You are all part of the great source, the great creator. And upon knowing that revelation, you can then reassess where you are at in your life. You can reassess the ways in which you've been behaving. Most of you will be on fear, reactory responses. What we mean by that is simply you're responding with a vibration of fear rather than a vibration of knowing. The vibration of knowing does not have any concern for anything but what it is. And to remind you all what you are is divine consciousness, having an experience in your frequency, in your lifetime. Now it is with the utmost respect that we say to you that taking responsibility for one's own choices and actions is paramount upon your journey within your life. Yes, you've all had soul agreements before coming here, and you all have boxes to tick in terms of destinations that you need to arrive at on your life's journey. But within those boxes, there is, shall we say, lots of choices that will take you in various directions, but will always end up at the destination of your choosing upon your life path. Now it is up to you, obviously, but the path of least resistance, the path that offers up that beautiful energy, that connection, that magnetic quality, you will feel it pulling you in a certain direction when you are in alignment with it. When you are not in alignment with it, this is where you will find confusion in your mind. This is where you will find that frustration with your energetic body. And in doing so, you'll experience in your now moments situations of struggle, situations of frustration. So by taking the ultimate responsibility of knowing who you are and that everything is connected, will allow you to connect magnetically to this vibrational frequency that we're talking about today. Personal responsibility also, we're talking about your appearance, the way that you groom yourself, the way that you respect yourself in a daily basis. You all get up in the morning, most of you anyway, will shower, will get ready, will put a bit of effort in where it comes to presenting yourself out into the world, based upon what you're feeling within yourself. Now this is a form of personal responsibility. Also the choices in the food that you eat, and how that has an impact on your physicality. With those choices, you will notice when you start to take more responsibility that your choices will naturally change. Some of the foods, some of the lifestyles that you've led are not necessarily in alignment with your path and your purpose. And so when you become in alignment with that magnetic draw and frequency, some of those old patterns in terms of your food and drink and other substances will be broken, so that you again can follow in the path of least resistance, which will allow you to reach your targets on your life's journey, on your soul directive. Responsibility. Again, it's a big word, and we're referring to connecting to the energetic realm and your highest frequency on a regular basis. Now, to enable you to do this, it is imperative that you give yourself time. Give yourself time to sit in the comfort of the silence, or what you would term in meditation. This will allow the biometric feedback of the mind and the brain to naturally slow down its vibration, slowing the thoughts, the rogue thoughts and the thinking patterns, where this is where you become your true essence. And you begin to see those thoughts just moving around, like looking at tadpoles in a fishing pond, just doing their thing. Except on this occasion, you're just going to be witnessing those thoughts racing round. Meditation will allow you to be still, will allow you to be present, and to connect with the truth of who you are. And in doing so, with every moment that you connect with that truth, you will find yourself feeling in a bliss state of awareness. You'll feel more relaxed. You'll be able to magnetically draw the things that are meant for you on your path toward you with least resistance. And this is all because you're taking that time out, that responsibility, in order for you to connect with the truth of who you are, which is the fact that you are the ultimate source. You are all connected. You're all having different experiences based upon the frequency you hold within your heart vibration. But it is with utmost respect that we bring this message to you today. And in doing so, we hope that the information is at least connecting with your soul and allowing you to make more better choices where you put your vibrational frequency first and place yourself in alignment. There will be great changes when you do this. As we say, it will change your demeanor, your personality, your energy vibrational field. And there'll be people that will come into your life, and there will be people that will leave out of your life simply because their energy or your energy does not match their vibration. And these alignments or misalignments, you will have experienced them within your life, only now you're coming to terms with the fact that this is what happens. This is part of the rich tapestry on all of your life's paths, all of those lessons and blessings that you all need to learn in order to transcend beyond your fixed belief systems that have been indoctrinized into your subconscious mind. So we thank you for listening. Thank you for persevering with us, bringing this to your attention. We now leave you with another communicator that wishes to address you. Bye for now.
Can we say that we consider you all very beautiful? You are ultimately beautiful light beings, and you should all be tremendously proud for where you're at in your life. And we want you to know that although sometimes it may seem that you're on your own on your life's path, we want you to know that this is not the case at all. You're always surrounded by us. We use the term us because we're describing the collective energies. We're describing your spirit team, your family, your friends, your loved ones that have gone before you, making that transition into their energetic body. So when you have times of feeling alone, desperation to connect with others, we would certainly recommend that you sit in the silence or go into meditation, a quietening of the mind, and then you will be able to experience this divine oneness that we speak of. You will be able to sense those family, friends, and loved ones and your spirit team around your physicality when you slow your vibration down. On this level, it's a beautiful feeling when you realize you're never truly alone. And it's one feeling that we hope will inspire you to move forward without the concern or need or worry that what other people are thinking or saying or judging you for maybe being in the circumstances that you are. So our message to you today is to make you a priority. Make you a priority enough so that you're taking time out to relax, to rejuvenate, to refresh, and to renew, and to know that you're never truly alone. You're always being guided and inspired. And we never, ever want to see you struggle. Sometimes we have to take a back seat to enable you to come to your own conclusions. But behind the energy behind that, we're all cheering you on. We're all trying our best to influence you in the highest possible way. And when you do connect with that divine influence and you make that choice to follow that information, that energy alignment, the amount of celebration and cheers that we are all sending to you when you make that alignment with that vibrational choice and frequency. So thank you for listening. We hope this has given you some encouragement and understanding that please don't consider yourself ever being alone, because you never truly are. We want you to feel that vibration of those around you, and this will give you that confidence in yourself and the utmost respect for yourself when you connect with this vibration. We bid you a farewell and thank you for listening. We'd like to leave you on a high note with some energy healing. Thank you.
another incredible transmission there from the world of spirit. Fantastic content today. Upon listening back to that for the very first time, I really enjoyed what I heard there. Again, reminding us to take that responsibility for our own vibrations instead of focusing on other people's. And by doing that, it's going to allow us to get to know the truth of who we are. And when we do know the truth of who we are, then we can blossom and grow, and we can connect and realize that we are literally all connected to one another. Knowing that will allow us to then be in that space where we can remove those fear-based thoughts and emotions from in and around ourselves, because we become to realize that we're actually blocking ourselves from moving forward. And so by taking that responsibility back, it allows us to recognize that and actually remove those triggers that trigger us to actually bring in those negative feelings and thoughts. So by removing those, that allows us to connect to our greatest good, that path of least resistance where we can connect with our journey on our life and tick all the boxes, so to speak. So it was nice to hear Spirit talking in that great depth about this subject there as well. Also interesting, I mean, most of us know this already, but it never grows tired to hear it mentioned again, talking about that when we do get to know ourselves, our true self, then our tastes change in terms of our food, the drink, our actual lifestyle that we're living. And as we become to align with our highest good, we recognize that our version of ourselves, our previous version of ourselves, isn't necessarily ticking all the boxes anymore. And so taking that responsibility allows us to recognize that as well. And slowing down the thoughts there also allows us to connect with our loved ones in spirit and recognize that we're never alone. And by slowing down the thoughts, we have that opportunity to connect in with their vibration there. So brilliant transmission. I love the healing there, the sound healing frequency at the end. For me, it made the center of my head feel very, very unusual. It made me cough continually. My eyes felt like they were running as well. But I felt a feeling of healing moving down my shoulders, allowing that energy to be flushed through me. So very interesting connection today. So we're going to move on to the next part of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 3rd of July, 2023. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also connect with the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So what I'm about to do is shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out at random, and right on cue, one has just done that. So here's your card for this week's energy forecast reading. I'm now going to link into the vibration of that. Well, first of all, I'm being told that this week is going to be surprisingly different for you all, as things will start to slot into place within your life. You can almost taste it, touch it, feel it. You know that there's change on its way for you, and it's positive change. So this week will be the start of you starting to feel that vibration. Just be aware of situations occurring in your life, changing. However, for some of you that are perceiving these situations, just look a little bit deeper, because there's method in the madness while you're experiencing them. And what I mean by that is that at first glance, you'll think that it's quite a negative experience, when in actual fact, it's actually leading to a positive outcome for everyone involved. So watch out for that. Don't judge a book by its cover, are the words that I'm being told to tell you as well for this week. So with that being said, it's telling you not to base your opinions on appearances only. Feel the vibration of people, feel the vibration of a situation as well, as this will navigate you through it. I'm also sensing that this week is a great week for you to start and speak up a little bit more and let your opinions be known and counted for that matter. There will be a lot of people around you that will be a little bit perplexed that you have started to open up and communicate more than what you have done. However, you've got to speak your truth, and in doing so, you'll feel empowered for doing that as well. Can you also pay attention midweek this week of yourself feeling a little bit run down in terms of energy? in terms of feeling a little bit lethargic. When this does occur, just allow yourself to rest as much as you can. And what is actually happening is you're going through a phase of energetic downloads and upgrades. So you're being gifted some upgrades from the universe in order for you to readjust to these new vibrational frequencies that are starting to occur in your life of this week. Notice that you will have people popping up in your mind and situations popping up in your mind from your past. And at one time you would have dwelled on these situations and you would have tried to make things right in your head. Whereas this time, when you visualize these experiences, you're just going to say, oh yeah, I know why I went through that now. Thank you very much. I understand. In fact, this week will be a week where you start to understand and see all the pieces of the puzzle coming together. And you'll be glad that things maybe didn't work out the way that you wanted them to. You'll be also glad that you had that patience and resilience within yourself to keep on carrying on. And also you'll be very impressed how the synchronicities start to unfold for you this week. Can you also pay attention to your heart vibration as well? And I'm talking to this vibration of love there around the heart. Notice for that expansion of that vibration occurring this week, that magnetic drawing, that pulling, that vibration there, as I feel as though things are going to, shall we say, increase in terms of attraction and romance this week. So it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, you will feel this vibration. So just be aware of it and just let it be. Whatever's meant will be. Okay, so I'm going to turn over the card for you and go through that. The top of this card, it says Ace of Gabriel. Well, I feel that Ace represents 1, meaning the angel number 1. So if you can research that, that will give you some additional support and information. Also, Ace is something that we used to say when we were children. If something was good, it was Ace. So I feel as though it's telling you that everything's coming in good for you. Everything's good. Gabriel is obviously Archangel Gabriel there as well. So I feel as though that's telling you that you are supported this week as well. And look out for those intuitive nudges coming in from the angelic realm. And also watch out for seeing feathers, whether this is depicted either on a TV screen or whether you're seeing it in person. You will notice more feathers this week as well. At the bottom of the card, it reads, a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration, the chance to do something amazing, a sense of wonder. That sounds incredible, doesn't it? And in many respects, it goes in alignment with what we were saying about things starting to open up for you this week. Also, the heart chakra expanding and feeling that vibration of love there as well. So just go with it. Don't force things to happen. Go with the flow, and by doing that, you'll allow the universe to work with you, and you'll notice the synchronicities coming in thick and fast as you do that. If you have that level of resistance, however, you will notice that this week will present quite a lot of struggle for you. So it's entirely your choice, but we would recommend that you just go with the flow and trust those intuitive hits and feelings that you're experiencing this week. As you can see around the edge of the card, we've got the color of orange. So to me, that would indicate more energy being gifted to you. However, we did mention in the beginning of this reading that in the middle of the week, this week, Wednesday, would be a case where you will feel a little bit lethargic. And this is simply your energy is being recalibrated, the inspiration's coming in. And after Wednesday of this week, I feel that this is when this abundance of energy will be gifted to you from the universe. So watch out for yourself, maybe jigging around, feeling a little bit more hyperactive than usual, tapping on things, not being able to keep still, being fidgety, and also noticing that you're talking a little bit more and jabbering and singing. This is an indication of that energy coming through. A lot of people around you will find this very entertaining, and it will lift their vibrations. In actual fact, it will help their vibrations to get to the same level as yours. It's very infectious when these energy hits and downloads come in. So watch out for that. Let's take a look into the artwork itself. We've got this divine feminine being there who looks very shamanic, if I may say so myself. As you can see, she's looking life in the eye. The feminine energy would represent your sensitivity and trusting that sensitivity this week as well. Also, look at life in the eye. Don't be shy anymore. Don't be shy about coming forward. And that is with people, communicating with people, expressing yourself. So allow yourself to do that this week. As you can see, she's got the wings that are behind her and they're opening up. So to me, that would indicate it is now time for you to spread your wings and fly. So in other words, when an opportunity strikes this week, you must be ready to run with it, ready to fly with it, and embrace these new opportunities as they come in. Also, she's wielding what I would describe as some sort of medicine tool, like shamanic tool there, and she's swirling that around her head. So to me, that would indicate letting go of some past energies, as we've previously said on here, and just seeing the blessings in those situations. This week will also require you to be more present, more grounded. When you're more present, when you're more grounded, you will see these wonderful opportunities coming into your life. If you're not present, you will miss them, and they won't come round as quickly as what they have done this week. So pay attention, be grounded there. It's also saying that you've come over a lot of hurdles in your life. And now's the time to leave those hurdles behind you and move forward with confidence, ease, and grace. It's also telling you to go with the flow this week, not to resist these changes. Simply go with the flow, because it is for your betterment there as well. And also, there's something about you having that level of confidence within yourself this week, the way that you communicate with others and those around you. So that's what I'm picking up for this week. I hope that has resonated with you all. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting, and sharing. If you have appreciated what you've seen on here, I would appreciate if you could buy me a coffee, which is simply a tip jar where you can place a tip in. That would be greatly appreciated, and it would help me to continue the work that I'm doing. Also, if you've enjoyed what you've seen on here and you would like a one-to-one private reading or any other of my services, please head over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium, and place your booking with me there. Please join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on my radio show, From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. This show is all about paranormal. It's about self-help, spiritual matters. And so join me there every Monday. In the meantime, have a blessed week. Bye for now.
Well, it sounds like we're all set for an interesting week this week. And it's nice to hear that things are looking up for us all, isn't it? And it's always interesting to know when we're moving up a gear, so to speak, within our lives there. So it was interesting to hear that in the forecast there. I hope that resonates with everybody that's listening and helps you through the course of this week. But what I'd like to do is invite you all, anybody that has any stories to share, whether that is of a paranormal nature, spiritual or self-help, along with the show, then, and they don't mind me reading out your information on the show, then please do get in contact with me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. It would be wonderful to have these interactions with you. And in fact, if you do have any feedback on any of the subjects that are covered within the show, or any of your personal encounters, it would be fascinating to hear that as well. So what I would encourage you all, like a lot of the spirit communicators I've said throughout the course of this show today, is just sitting in that silence, slowing the mind down and allowing yourself to just be in that present moment will, in actual fact, allow you to connect with spirit energy around you, maybe your family, friends or loved ones, and also begin to recognize that you're never truly, really on your own, as we're all connected. So by slowing the thoughts down, clearing the mind will enable you to do that. So a little bit of homework there for you for this week. So please take the advantage of those quiet moments in your life and see them as blessings in disguise there. Okay, so I want to wish you a brilliant week ahead. Looking forward to connecting with you the same place, same time, next Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on pulsetalkradio.com. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now. God bless.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides,
go to Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium